These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is Morbid.
Sure is. Welcome to Morbid, everybody.
Hey, hi there. Hey, what's up? Hey, guys, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to hear you. Good to know you're alive.
Is that like from Mr. Rogers?
No, but it should have been. So basically, we just wanted to start out by saying, guys, you sold out the Gramercy in New York.
You over there.
You did it. It's thanks to all of you guys. Thank you so much for buying tickets. We sold that shit out, which means we get to come to more cities and give you live shows and meet all you beautiful people.
I can't wait. And I'm just letting you know, stay tuned on Wednesday. Like, keep your eyes peeled on our Instagram and our Twitter because I'm going to be spilling some hot tea all over you.
For the last time, Ash, it's called a police report. Guys, that meme that someone posted, I wish I should have looked up to see who it was. We'll shout you out, trust me. Someone posted the meme of the BuzzFeed Unsolved guys, and on the top, one of them says, "Are you ready to spill the hot tea?" And the bottom guy says, "For the last time, it's called a police report." And they were like, "Guess who's Ash and guess who's Alaina?" And it's never described us better. Nothing has ever described us better.
Yeah, I'm definitely the guy that's like, it's a fucking police report.
For sure. And I'm definitely spilling the hot tea.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so that was great. We love you guys. Keep that shit coming. The other little point of business I just wanted to address is that you guys have been amazing grabbing up these designs that were thrown up in the merch store. Just wanted to let you know we are going to add more designs, more styles, some long sleeve shirts. We want to throw some hoodies up there soon. Just stay tuned. Some sweatpants, because I know everybody wants sweatpants. I want sweatpants. Everybody does. It's going up there. Just stay tuned. We'll let you guys know whenever something pops in there. We're also going to make sure that we have as many sizes as humanly possible so everyone can grab whatever they want, and it can fit every type of beautiful bod out there.
And guess what is going to happen at the end of this episode, Alaina?
What's going to happen?
At the end of this episode, we are going to be shouting out some of our loyal Patronus.
Finally, guys. We are so sorry that we had to take a little hiatus from shouting you out, but it was just us trying to get organized because we are very unorganized. But you know what? We're getting there. We got help. We're on our way.
We're like Lisa Rinna. We're owning it.
We are owning it. So you guys are going to get a shout out. So stay tuned at the end of the episode so you can hear your name. We're going to be slowly chipping through these. So if you don't hear your name right away, we are going to get to it. We're just doing, 10 to 15 at a time and chipping through.
There are thousands of you.
Which is amazing.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant. So thank you so much. Stay tuned for that. And I think we can just dive into this episode.
I think we're about to dive in.
Hell yeah. So on tonight's episode, we are going to discuss a case that was actually sent to us. So this was a case I've always wanted to cover, but I kind of forgot about it until a listener named Paige emailed us and said, I think you guys should cover this. It's from my hometown. It's crazy. Everyone here is still all up in arms about it. She really wanted us to cover it, and I was like, shit, I've always wanted to cover that one. This is the case of 19-year-old Jessica Chambers. So in 2014 in Courtland, Mississippi, which is a very small community of only like 500 people, something absolutely mind-boggling happened to this poor girl. Like, wait until we get into it. Fair warning, this is a really brutal case. So I just want to let everybody know that. I got a ton of stuff from different articles about this case on the internet. You can go, Washington Post, all kinds of places. BuzzFeed did a really great article on this case. I also watched a episode of Investigation Discovery, which was called Burned Alive, about this case, which is giving you a little hint about what's to come.
I'm scared.
You should be. And it's said that this community was one of this community is one of the most loving, caring, tight-knit communities. It's like one of those places where everyone knows everyone, but in a good way. Like you just feel safe. It's just, it's like the true definition of community.
That's so sad.
I know. So 19-year-old Jessica Chambers, her parents were Ben and Lisa Chambers. They divorced when she was a little younger, but they still maintained a good relationship to this day. And they actually ended up living a couple of doors down from each other on the same street. Like they were still just right there.
Things were really copacetic.
They really were. And the sheriff in this Investigation Discovery episode that I watched said that that Jessica herself had a ton of charm. He knew her, again, because everybody knew each other. So he was like, I knew her whole life growing up, as a little girl, everything. She was a super charming little girl, very smart, super energetic, and everybody liked her. She was super popular in high school. This wasn't one of those, everybody liked her. She literally, everyone liked her. Popular in high school. She was a cheerleader. She wanted to go to nursing school after graduating high school, and she was on her way to do that. So she was smart, caring. I mean, to want to become a nurse, you have to be a special human being. I fully believe that.
100%. I could never do it.
It is. I mean, I think we've all been in a situation where we've had to deal with nurses, and it's every time you deal with a nurse, especially one of the great nurses, you're always like, holy shit. Thank God people want to be nurses, because I could not do that job.
No, taking care of people is very hard. Especially, sometimes you get tough patients.
Oh, yeah. And I just think of when I gave birth to the girls, the nurses that would come in, I was like, I want to just take you home with me. You're amazing. So thank you, nurses out there. You're amazing.
Shout out to all my nurses.
So Jessica wanted to be a nurse. But on Saturday, December 6th, 2014, at 8 p.m., that dream came to a crashing halt.
That's fairly recent.
It really was. This is a pretty recent case. I remember reading about this when it first happened, and it blew my mind how awful it is.
I can't believe how recent that is. I think I'm thinking of a different case.
Yeah, you might be. So on December 6th, 2014, at 8 p.m., two men were driving down a dark, pretty quiet road called Heron Road. That was in Courtland, Mississippi. They come across a car on the side of the road that is completely engulfed in flames.
It's never a good sign.
No, that's never a good sign. So they immediately called 911 because they were smart. And firefighters showed up, and they thought it was odd because no one was around the car and no one was in the car. It was super dark and just not a very heavy traveled road. So they were like, what the hell happened here? It's not like it crashed into another car and burst into flames. Like, what is happening?
I never want to come across a scene like that ever.
No, I don't either. So then they look up as they're starting to kind of take over the scene and get this under control. They look up and watch as someone walks out of the fucking woods, out of the darkness.
Wait, are you shitting me?
I am not shitting you. They described this figure as appearing, they said it looked like a monster walked out of the woods.
I just got like full bod chills.
Yeah. Now, suddenly, they realize that this is not a monster walking out of the woods.
It's a Hume?
It's a young girl.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And
because she's covered. Is it the girl that was burnt?
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes, it's a young girl. She was only dressed in underwear, and her flesh had been burned to the point of, like, melting.
I'm so fucked up right now.
Yeah. She was in shock, barely breathing, but she just like clearly in the worst pain imaginable, but in complete shock. So she was just dazed walking out of the woods.
This is really fucked up already.
Oh, yeah. Now, the EMTs kept... And when she walked out, she kept just saying, somebody help me, help me. Like, she was just saying it like a zombie almost, just like, help me.
Because she's so in shock, she can't even, like, yell.
Yeah. I can't even, like... Because you think about it. Think about burning your finger on, like, a pan or something like that. I am such a little, like, wuss with that. Like, as soon as that happens, I'm like, ah! And it's for days. You're in excruciating pain. It hurts more than anything. Imagine that all over your body.
No, a girl I work with recently picked up a curling iron that she thought was, like, not hot anymore. Ooh. And it literally stuck to her hand. She was out of work for, like, days just from fucking picking up a curling iron. So imagine your whole fucking body. No, I don't want to think about that. So the EMTs kept asking her, who are you? You know, what happened here? She could barely speak. Finally, they heard her whisper, Jessica. And they all realized this was Jessica Chambers. Because remember, everyone knows everyone in this town. So these EMTs were like, we recognized her. When she said it, we were like, this is fucking Jessica Chambers. Can you imagine, like, I don't know, it just, like, makes it different on a whole level. Like, you're like, holy shit, this is that girl that I know and I have known forever.
Exactly. Like, they've watched this girl grow up, and now they're looking at her, and they thought she was a fucking monster walking out of the woods.
This is so fucked up.
Now, so now the focus became determining what the hell happened here.
Yeah, like, why? So she didn't come out of the car on fire, she came out of the woods on fire.
Exactly. And she came out of the woods wearing only underwear. No top, no bra, no nothing. Just walking out of the woods in underwear, completely burned.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. So now they're trying to figure out what happened here. And she said, quote, they all said that she said, quote, he set me on fire.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, of course, they were like, who? Who set you on fire? And she kept saying, he set me on fire. He did it. And they were like, who did it? Now, they all say that they heard either Derek or Eric. They heard her say one of those things.
So Eric or Derek did this to me.
Exactly. So now that's a huge thing in this case. And it's both helped and it's mostly hurt this case, to be honest, because she didn't have, her lips were basically burned off. Her tongue was singed. You can't talk correctly in that situation. If you think about it, like if you hold your tongue and then try to say words, they don't come out the way they should. So a lot of people are thinking, yeah, like it's great that she said that, but maybe she didn't say Derek or Eric. Maybe she said a name totally different that just came out that way because of all the injuries to her mouth. And later, that kind of hurt the case.
That really sucks. But all the people that were there are like, no, that's what she said.
Yeah, almost all of them said they thought they heard Derek or Eric. And then a couple of them are like, I don't know. You could barely hear her. They kept saying like, we can't be positive. She did say a name. We just can't be sure what that was.
Oh, it's so frustrating when things like that happen.
And what a bad bitch to end her last, to be like, let me get out who did this to me. Like, good for her.
Yeah, you're like avenging your own death.
Exactly. So Cole Haley was one of the first responders, and he said he was all of them, but he said specifically he was legitimately traumatized by her appearance. Like he had like PTSD from looking at her.
I don't know how you couldn't.
I can't even fathom it. At the guy who later would be put on trial for this, which we will talk about later, his name is Quentin. This Cole Haley, the first responder, legit cried on the stand and testified, quote, "She had her arms out saying, 'Help me, help me, help me.' Her hair was fried like it had been stuck in a light socket. Her face was black and her body was severely burned." He said that when he saw her come out of the woods in only her underwear, his first instinct was just to put a blanket on her, and he said, quote, "to cover her up." Because he was like, she came out there, she's only wearing underwear. She's sitting there saying, "Help me." She's this little girl that I know. Like, she's only 19. I've seen her grow up. I can't let her walk out here completely exposed. So I have to put a blanket on her, which I was like, oh my God. Like that kind of instinct to just like preserve her dignity in that moment. I was like, you know what? Good on you, Cole.
Like, that's why there are people on this earth like that.
Like, that's what a first responder is. Like, he should be a first responder, because like to be that kind of person, to think that is like, you should be an EMT.
Fucking snaps for Cole.
Snaps, Cole. Now, it's worth noting that during the trial later, Cole Haley said, quote, "She kept asking for water. I did not personally hear her say Eric."
Okay.
So he's one of the ones who said, I definitely heard her, because they all said we could hear her saying what sounded like water or thirsty. And then some of them would say, I heard her say Eric. The other ones would say, I don't know, I didn't hear that. So that's like a big thing here. So she was airlifted to Regional 1 Health Hospital in nearby Memphis. She had deep thermal burns. And by the way, this is the third time that I've had to say this, because I keep saying deep thermal bones, and I don't know why.
It's the thur.
It's true. It's hard to say. Deep thermal burns is what she had.
Yes.
Nailed it. Deep thermal burns are when it's hard to come back from that, basically, is what it means. A flammable liquid had been poured down her throat.
What the fuck?
Yes, that's one of the things. And it was also put up her nose and all over her body.
Jesus Christ. I feel like, okay, I'm already like fucking investigating. I'm like, two people. I feel like two people are involved.
Really?
I mean, I'm sure one person could do it by like holding her down, but that's quite a fucking fight to like hold somebody down and shove something in their mouth and then run away and then light them on fire with something.
That is very true. And you might change your mind later when you hear what the theory is on what happened, because it makes a lot of sense that it's one person.
Well, like 10 out of 10 times I'm wrong, so yeah, that probably will happen.
But then again, this case is still not completely solved. It's slightly... Everybody's going to have to make their own decision at the end. So it technically could be more than one person, and it does make sense. That is another theory that could make absolute sense. So she had the flammable liquid down her throat, which... That part of this, I remember hearing it in the original news report when it happened in 2014. That right there was like, what the actual fuck? Like, who does that? Who hates someone enough to do that?
And that's just like sadistic in its own like way.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable that someone could do that. And up her nose, all over her body. She was burned over 98% of her body, according to the coroner.
Oh my God. So she would have had to have like an entirely like skin grafts.
Oh, she just wasn't coming out of that.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that's just that what she had was the deep thermal burns that were 98% of her body. You just aren't coming back from that.
So did she die because of like all the pain from that, or how does that work?
Her body just shut down. Her body probably was immediately shutting down. Even as she was walking out of the woods, her body was starting to just, because it's just too much. It's too much. And the amount of infection that would happen there that you'd be like susceptible to, it's just way too much. And honestly, unfortunately, obviously this never should have happened. But when you look at the injuries, you're like, you know what? It was a blessing that she didn't have to suffer through dealing with the rest. I mean, she suffered. But I'm really glad she didn't have to suffer for very long. And you'll find out later, it happened pretty quick. Thank goodness. Because if she had to live days and days in this kind of excruciating pain, I can't even fathom. Like, I'm so glad she didn't have to.
I can't imagine ever having, like you said, you burn your hand on a fucking pan and you're like, oh, this sucks so bad. I literally can't imagine.
It's true. It's crazy. So the police let her father and stepmother Debbie know. Debbie literally ran down the street when she found out to Lisa's home, which is her mother. So Debbie, the stepmother, ran to the mother's house and screamed, "Someone set Jessica on fire." And her mother was like, in the thing I watched, her mother was like, wait a second, I just talked to her on the phone like an hour ago. Like, what do you mean someone set her on fire? She wasn't with anyone. Like, she was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, and like, what the fuck? Like, how they set her on fire? Like, can you imagine hearing that sentence about your child?
And that's the thing. It's like, it's your child. So they all went to the hospital together and were informed that there was nothing they could do anymore. They were like, we're just going to try to make her as comfortable as we possibly can and just let her pass away, basically. Her mother said she went into the room. She told her that she and her father were there. She was like, I wanted her to know your mom and dad are here. And then she told her if she was in too much pain, I'm totally about to cry. Aww. This is like the first time I'm about to cry. Because this is like her mother. This is her baby. She said, if you are in too much pain, it's okay for you to let go.
That was heavy.
Right? Like we both just looked at each other and took like the deepest breath in. Like we're both like, oh. And it gets even more deep. She said, it's okay to let go. And then she said, I will get you justice.
Yes, mama. Yes.
Like it's just, whew. And that's when she took her last breath at 2:37 a.m.
This is like a really fucking sad movie.
It is. And it's legit. Like the doctors all said it. Her mother held her hand, said that to her, and she let go.
Because she probably just wanted to know that her mom was there and that it was okay.
Exactly. Like you just need to hear your mom say it's okay to do. Like, oh, I can't even go too far into that because I can feel the ball in my throat, like about to cry. Her mother in this episode, it destroyed me. I mean, destroyed, because she says, and I think I mentioned it later, that like she doesn't even like to close her eyes because she just pictures it. Like, Now, that same afternoon that she passed away, a man was walking down a road about 1/8 of a mile away from the scene of the burned car, and he found Jessica's car keys on the ground.
Okay.
The keys were sent out for DNA. Because it's weird. Why are the keys 1/8 of a mile away? Like, what? Why? She didn't get out of the car and, like, throw the keys. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
So the keys to the car that was set on fire.
Yes, her car keys.
I couldn't remember if it was her car that got set on fire. That was really stupid.
No, it was. It was her car that got set on fire. So the keys are sent out for DNA. Now, they have her phone because her phone was found under the driver's side door. So they said either someone tried to take it out or it fell out because it was right under the door on the ground. They requested and received a search warrant for her phone, but only got one for the last 24 hours before her death. That's how fucking crazy it is to get phone warrants.
I know, it's funny because we just had this conversation recently, and I just think it's fucked up.
It is, especially it's like this woman was murdered. It is very clear that she stated that she was murdered before she died. Why would you not be able to, what more do you need to get all of her phone records? It's like she would want you to get her phone records.
It's like I say something near my phone and I get an Instagram ad. So if I die, I'd like you to throw out an Instagram ad to whatever I died from.
Exactly. It's like, come on, guys. So they got the last 24 hours before her death. And that morning, she had texted with her friend Keisha first thing in the morning. Keisha said she picked her up at around 10:30 a.m. and that she had Quentin Tellis in the car with her. Tellis didn't have a history of violence, but had some run-ins with the law, mainly drugs. I think he had like a burglary thing on him. He said I say that like it's no big. I'm like, he just had this like fucking burglary thing on. He just stole shit from someone's house. No big deal.
I was just thinking that you're like, burglary. Like it's chill as fuck. All the kids burglaring.
Burglars everywhere. But I feel like that's just always on everyone's rap sheet when they have a rap sheet. Burglary is always on there somewhere. So I'm like, yeah, he had burglary like everyone else.
You gotta stop saying burglary.
Burglary. It lost all meaning. He said the three of them drove around for an hour, and then they dropped him off at his home, which was across from the M&M store. Now, it's not the M&M store like the M&M candy. It's just like a convenience store / gas station that's like the place to go in Courtland, Mississippi. It's like everyone goes there. You know, it's like the local hangout.
You thought M&M Candy. I thought M&M Marshall Mathers. It's fine. Everything's cool.
Wow. You thought there was like a Slim Shady store?
No, I didn't, but M&M to me means that, and like it just in my mind. I knew there wasn't a store, but you said M&M, and I was like, oh, that guy.
Chicka Slim Shady. That's what you thought.
Yes, I was like, would the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Wow. All right, so it's neither of those. It's not the candy. It's not the rapper. It's just a local hangout. They got his cell phone records, Quentin tell us, and they went to the store. They got the cameras. There were cameras outside of the store, and they were pointed towards his house because he was like diagonal across from there. They were able to look at the camera records, and they confirmed that he went there for something to eat that morning, and that his story of being dropped off at his home at the time he said was correct. It checked out. The cameras also got Jessica on film coming to the store a few times that day, because everybody did. That's not weird. Like, everyone hung out there. You got all your, like, snacks there. It was like you drove around at night like any teenager does, and you stop and get gas, you stop and get snacks, you meet people there, all that good stuff.
You just stop at Wendy's and get a fo.
Exactly. Jessica then went home at around 12:30 in the afternoon and took a nap in a chair in the living room, according to her mother. Now, around 4:45 or 5:15, somewhere around there, she got a phone call that woke her up from her nap, which I was like, damn, Jessica, that's a nap.
That is a nap.
That's a real nap. She got woken up. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All of these sirens just flew by my house, and they're like, whoop, whoop, whoop. So we're bringing you realness here.
I love when they don't do like the wee. I like when it's like the whoop, 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 whoop.
It just makes me think of our Stay Out of the Woods.
Yes.
When you thought it was
The coyote cop.
You thought it was a coyote that just walks through the woods going, whoop, 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 whoop.
I think I was like, I don't know.
You were slurping on some Captain Crunch Slurpee, so you were feeling it.
Never again.
Never forget. So back to the solemn shit, because people will get mad at us. She left after she got the phone call that woke her up around 4:45 to 5:15. She left saying that she was going to get something to eat, she was going to clean out her car, and then she would be home later. So her mom was like, cool. Now she's on camera at the gas station at around 5:24 p.m. So everything is checking out. Now, using cell tower records, they saw that she then went to Batesville and got there around 6 p.m. So that's a nearby town. Then she went back to Courtland around 6:30. So she went to Batesville at 6, came back around 6:30. No one knew what she did there.
Is there like a car cleaning place there?
No, not that they could find or have her recorded at.
I do the randomest shit. If I ever disappeared, they'd be like, first she was here, then she went there, and then she was just like over here.
It's true. They would never be able to find you. They'd be like, I don't know, man. So at 6:48, she called her mother. Her mom said she was quiet and there was no background noise. And she said, this was weird because normally when she calls me, there's a lot of music in the background and noise, especially if she's in the car, there's always music. It's always like a high energy situation. And she said, I don't know, something seemed off.
Yeah.
Now, at 7:30 p.m., she left Courtland and drove to where she was found set ablaze on Heron Road at 7:35 p.m. Now, there's no more activity or signals from the cell phone, nothing or GPS or anything after 8:04 p.m. And in the ID Discovery episode Burned Alive, the investigators said they believe that is when the heat became so great that it broke her phone. That's why the signals stopped. That's because the heat was so crazy.
Makes sense.
At 8:10 p.m., the fire was called into 911. Now, when they looked through her cell phone records, there were no Erics or Derek's in her calls or text or any communications. They called in every Eric and Derek around the area and further out in like the surrounding counties. And they were like, we got to talk to all of them. Over 100 Erics and Dereks were interviewed. Can you imagine being named Eric or Derek at this point around here?
No, but that's crazy. And I love that they did that.
Yeah, they were thorough. They checked their cell phone records and no one was near her on that day at all. None of the Erics or Dereks. Finally, they got a better search warrant for her phone records and they were able to read her text messages now. So before they could only see that she had sent texts, now they could read the actual messages.
Okay, that's good.
So much better. So they found one text that was received by her phone mere minutes before 911 was called. It was from Quentin Tellis.
And it said,
something along the lines of "Can't hang tonight, bae. Friend coming over, sweet dreams." It was like a nice message just saying, "We can't hang out tonight. I have, someone's coming over." And then he ended it, "sweet dreams." So it was like a nice communication.
okay.
So Tellis never revealed to police that they had made plans that night when she died. When they had interviewed, Keisha and Tellis, because they were in the car with her that morning, he just said they dropped me off. That was it. He never mentioned that they had plans that night and that she wasn't able to make them because she was murdered.
Shady business.
Shady business. They re-interviewed him and they asked him what their relationship was. And he said, well, we did sleep together once in her car.
Okay. And then you just called her bae from that point on?
Yeah, and it's like you failed to mention that when there's a murdered human being, you might want to say you had a bigger connection to them.
Also, there's a murdered human being that you slept with. Like, maybe make it sound a little more important than that.
Yeah, like, whoops. So now they're like, what the fuck did you do after Jessica dropped you off? Because they were like, now we want to know what your movements are. So he said he hung out with friends that day. And then at night, he went to his sister's house, borrowed her truck to drive where? To Batesville.
What were you both doing in Batesville around the same time?
He said he went to Fred's dollar store in Batesville to buy a green dot card, which I didn't know what that was, but apparently it's like a debit card, like a prepaid debit card kind of thing. He was buying that because he said his girlfriend lives in Monroe, Louisiana, and she didn't have money to come visit, so he was getting a green dot card to get her there, like to get her like a train ticket there.
Or you knew that you were going to kill somebody and you got it so that you could go on the run with no tracking available.
That's genius.
Thank you.
I mean you, not him, by the way.
I knew that.
just clarifying that. I didn't want anybody being like, you asshole. You just called him a genius. No, Ash is a genius, not him.
I'm like getting better at guessing things, I feel.
You are. You're getting there. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Impressive. He then went back to his sister's to bring her the truck back. Then he went to the M&M store again. And then he went home and waited for his girlfriend. So that's his story.
His girlfriend who didn't have money to come visit him?
Not sure what that's about. That's just what he said. So Tellis was on camera at Fred's dollar store at 8:15 p.m., which was 15 minutes after the fire was called into 911.
Okay.
He was also on camera at the M&M store. So his alibi was checking out completely. What he was saying was lining up.
Okay.
Which is crazy. But the investigators asked to look around his place. When they did that, they found a shed containing a dirt bike and big things of gasoline.
Okay.
Now that, it was weird to them because they were like, yeah, you have a lot of gasoline, but your dirt bike needs gasoline, so that makes sense. But it's still a little like, we have to keep that in mind, but that's not something we can like totally jump off of right now.
Right.
Now, they then asked Tellis if he knew any Eric or Derek, and he was like, anyone that could possibly do this. He said, oh yeah, there's a guy named Derek Holmes that Jessica actually had issues with.
Okay.
Now, Tellis said that Jessica told him that this guy Derek was stalking her. He lived like 5 miles from her house, and he was a fucking sex offender.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that checks out. So they interview Derek, and he says he was home the whole night of the murder. And what was he doing? Just watching television, and that's it. Oh, no, he wasn't just watching television. He was also massaging his diabetic mom's feet.
You don't need to be that specific, Eric.
And you know what? It checked out.
Mama was like, he was rubbing those feet.
It's true.
I'm sorry. Don't make your kids rub your feet. It's fucking weird.
Oh, but it was so 3 days of interviewing him and everyone he knew, including mom, he was officially ruled out.
Awesome.
So that sucked.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got three actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
But now they are realizing it may be bad to focus on the Derek Eric thing because they were like, you know what? Maybe we're narrowing ourselves way too much here.
Or putting ourselves in a corner.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in the Eric and Derek basket. So doctors actually said she couldn't speak at all, like barely. They were like, she was getting words out, but there's no fucking way you were going to tell what she was saying. And they said it definitely could have been something else completely. But by now, by now there were billboards, there were missing persons posters. I mean, it was all over the national news. This was going everywhere, this case. So they were like, we need to broaden this out and not say the Derek and Eric thing so much. Now, internet sleuths sometimes do benefit cases. In this one, they did not.
Oh no, I got really excited.
No, unfortunately, they took over in kind of a bad way. Suddenly it became known that she was dating a man named Travis Sanford. He was in prison during the murder for burglary. See, everyone has burglary.
Everybody's burglarizing.
Everybody. Everybody
was burglarizing.
That's not funny. That's terrible. They started considering that this was a gang murder ordered by him from prison.
I doubt that.
Yeah, and people were like, that's it. That's what's happening. And mainly it's like, oh, these are black guys, so it must be a gang murder. So it was racist bullshit because it was like, this is a white girl She's dating and hanging around black guys. Of course, it must be gang related, or it must have something to do with these black guys. That's what this all became.
Yeah, that's really shitty that people had to fucking assume that.
Yeah, it became a bunch of racist bullshit. Now, her mother said she was on the phone with Travis, her boyfriend that's in prison. She was on the phone with him Friday, Jessica was, the day before the murder. Now, a theory started online that maybe Travis thought she was cheating on him, and that he ordered this hit because he was mad.
Okay, also, he's just, burglary is a big deal, but he's just in there for burglary, not like orchestrating insane fucking crimes.
Exactly. It's like, really, can we stop putting this on people, like, just generalizing? And now they interviewed Travis, and they noticed that he was an absolute fucking mess about this murder. They were like, he was very genuinely just destroyed by her murder.
Because that was his bae.
Exactly. They found no evidence linking him to this. None. And in March of this year, this is actually said, in March of this year, Travis was actually shot and killed with a buckshot from a shotgun in Courtland.
Oh my God. On accident?
It was in a home. Nobody knows what really happened, but he was murdered himself this March, actually.
Jeez Louise.
I know, it's really sad. Now, around August 2015, they were like 8 months past this case, and it was getting colder and colder. So they decided to go back over the phone records because that seemed like it was going to be the place where they were going to get that information. So they called in Paul Roulette, who is an expert at extracting information from digital data. He's basically like an internet detective. Like, he's a digital data detective. That's his job.
Yeah, me too.
Same. He took weeks and weeks and gathered all the GPS information from everyone questioned in this case. And he took this GPS information and he compared it against Jessica's GPS locations. All of it, from all the people. He was like, we're going to get everyone's movements and we're going to line it up with Jessica's and we're going to get who this person is.
It's always mind-blowing to me that people have a brain that can fucking do that.
I know, that takes like a special sort of brain. So in October, shit went down. The GPS data showed that Quentin Tellis, was in Batesville at the exact time that Jessica went there from Courtland.
I knew it.
Knew it. They were also on the same road and left at the exact same time.
Yeah, they were together.
For sure, which means Quentin was lying. Now, he had said they didn't see each other after she dropped him off that morning, so he's lying. They went to his home to interview him again when they found this out, but he was in prison.
For burglary?
No, he was in prison in Monroe, Louisiana, where his girlfriend was from. He had been arrested 3 months before this because he withdrew $2,000 from a student named Ming Chin Shao's bank account. She was an overseas student but was attending the University of Louisiana. Basically, he stole and used her debit card. That's bad enough.
So almost burglary.
Almost, but much worse, because shit gets darker. His other charge is for her murder.
Ming's murder?
Ming's murder.
Okay.
Yes. Ming was found stabbed 34 times.
Holy shit.
And tortured to death in a state of severe decomposition at her apartment on the day that Quentin Tellis got married in Monroe, Louisiana to that girlfriend.
So her body was discovered on the day that he was getting married?
Sure was.
This whole time I'm picturing Quentin as like this poor kid that just like got implicated in this, and he's like, oh, this sucks, and I saw Jessica and I don't want to say anything, but now he's fucking out here murdering and stealing and marrying.
Stealing and marrying, murdering, stealing and marrying. It's not a good combo. Well, he was only charged of this at the time, but it is kind of coincidental that one person is being charged with multiple murders.
I'm sorry, that's just like, you had to have killed at least one person if you're getting, I don't know.
You're like, odds are you killed one of them, you know?
Odds are.
So that was on August 8th, the day that he got married. The day that Ming was found, that was a really bad day. So he pled guilty to using her debit card. So you have her debit card. When you have a dead woman's debit card, I don't care what the outcome is, that looks bad no matter what.
100%.
Absolutely. So he was seen on Walmart camera with Ming, And witnesses saw him at her apartment on July 27th or July 28th when she died. And there were also matching receipts from his apartment to one of the charges on her debit card. So it matched up. He definitely was the one using it.
Right.
Now, a man named Eric said that Tellis told him he sliced and stabbed Ming until she told him what her debit card PIN was. Basically tortured her into telling him what her debit card PIN was.
What the fuck?
Now, I don't know if anybody noticed, but the guy who told the police this was named Eric. But as coincidental as that sounds, he didn't have anything to do with it, it looks like.
I hate when you get me like all riled up and then you're like, and they didn't do it.
I know, I love doing that. Now, they interviewed Quentin Tellis again, and he told the same story he had been telling. Then Paul, the data guy, was like, okay, well, that's nice, but there's a problem. See, from 5:30 p.m. when Jessica left the store, the M&M store, both of your phones are right next to each other.
So they could have been like in the same car.
Exactly, like they were traveling together. Of course, this could mean two different cars, but either way, they were right next to each other.
Yeah, I don't care if you're next to each other on the highway, next to each other in the car, you're fucking with each other.
Exactly. Now, Quentin Tellis is literally like, oh shit, I forgot I did see her.
Oh, I forgot that I saw that girl that got murdered 2 minutes after I saw her.
And he's like, I love that he's like, I've told this story about 100 times and I've told the same story, but oops, I forgot. Yeah, I definitely saw her. So he said, we met in the Taco Bell parking lot, and he said he initially forgot this, which you could buy if they were interviewing him like years later about this. Like he'd be like, oh shit, you know what, small details can be forgotten. I don't think you can forget that you actually did see the person before they were murdered. I don't buy that, but I'm willing to play devil's advocate on that.
I remember every interaction I've had in a Taco Bell parking lot, so.
Exactly. But the thing about this was they had interviewed him first 2 days after she died, and she didn't mention this. You don't forget in 2 days.
No, you definitely don't.
Now, like 1 year later, he remembers what she ordered at Taco Bell 1 year later. Now he's like, oh yeah, I remember. She did this and this. But he said he was in the car. He did go to Taco Bell with her. I remember what she ordered. But then he said he got a ride home from Big Mike. There always seems to be a Big Mike in these cases.
I fucking love Big Mike.
Big Mike. So now they have to go interview Big Mike to check out his alibi.
And they're like, what'd you get at Taco Bell?
Well, Big Mike said that Saturday night that they're talking about, the night that Jessica was murdered, he said, I had tickets to see the Titans and the Giants play in Nashville. And he's like, I know this. And they were like, did you go to the game? And he said, yep, I went to the game. They confirmed that he was at that game. Tellis was fucking lying again.
So he didn't get a ride home from Big Mike. Big Mike was at the fucking Giants Nashville game.
Giants Nashville game. He was. And they confirmed that. So Big Mike's like, no, I did not give him a ride home. I was at this game.
Dude, how happy was he that he was at that game when he was there and then like a year later?
Right? He was probably like, yep, bye. Now on January 27th, 2016, they interviewed Quentin Tellis again. And they're like, hey, you're a lying sack of shit. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Jessica picked me up and then we went to Batesville together.
I'd be like, Quentin, I'm getting really frustrated. We're going to put you in timeout until you can tell us what really fucking happened. You douche lord.
Do we need to plug you in? Do you need to charge for a little bit? You seem broken.
Tell us what really fucking happened. You doucher.
So then he said that they went to his house and they sat in his driveway. So all of a sudden this is becoming much more involved. He's like, oh, you know what? You're right. I spent multiple hours with her that day. So they sat in his driveway. They talked. They listened to music. And he said she left at 7 p.m. Now, this doesn't link up. She left at 7:30. The investigators confronted him with that because they were like, no, we know that she didn't leave because we can see her on the camera. Now, they confronted him with this. And he was like, they were like, so she leaves your presence and had no contact with anyone else. And then 30 minutes later, she's burned alive a couple of miles away from your house. So she leaves you, drives literally a couple miles, and within 30 minutes, someone fucking came in contact with her and burned her alive. Does that make sense to you?
Makes no sense to me.
No. And it's also noted on camera. So Quentin was like, yeah, I don't know. Like that. Yeah, I guess that's what happened. And it's like, Quentin, come on, man.
You're already in jail. You might as well just fucking admit it.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, just say it. It was also noticed on camera that he changed 3 times that day.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, why would you change 3 times? I don't know. Now, they took the DNA sample that was on those keys that they found, Jessica's keys that were an eighth a mile away from the burning car, and it was a match to Quentin Tellis.
The DNA matched Quentin Tellis.
The DNA matched Quentin Tellis.
If the DNA matches, you must put them in jail.
You must snatches them and put them in jail.
Putteth them awayeth.
I don't think that's as snappy as Johnny Cochran intended, but, we'll go with it. So now they got a search warrant for Tellis's phone because they were like, yeah, now we're going to look through your shit. Every text that Quentin Tellis sent to Jessica the week before her murder was super sexual, like wicked sexual, like aggressively sexual. 3 separate times he asked her to sleep with him, and she turned him down every single time. Now, the day of her murder, she denied him several times through texts. Again, remember that text that he sent her a couple minutes before the 911 came in? He was very sweet. Sweet dreams. Can't see you tonight, bae. But all these other ones are like these raunchy, like aggressive sexual texts. Not exactly lining up.
Ugh.
Now, so they think the motive was possibly rage. It was further seen that all these texts were also deleted off of his phone.
Interesting.
Like, why would you delete all these texts, but keep that one that's like making you look like this nice, caring bae?
Bae.
And even though they had texted a ton for weeks, he suddenly stopped texting her immediately after sending that one last alibi text to her after the murder. Because if you look at it, a couple minutes before 911, the sweet text, can't hang out, love you, bae, sweet dreams. That's a perfect alibi. You send that text so it looks like you were nowhere near her, that you just had this easy relationship, and then all communication with her stops right after that. How did he know that she wasn't going to look at any more texts? Because she was dead. How did he know that?
Right. Why wouldn't you send, like, if she hadn't responded, like, are you okay? Like, where are you? Like, hello, text.
Exactly. Now, legal analyst Beth Karras had a chance to ask Quentin Tellis and it was in the episode Unspeakable Crime, The Killing of Jessica Chambers. It's like a docuseries. And she asked him, like, why? Why wouldn't you send any more texts after that? Why did all communication stop? Why were all these text messages deleted off of your phone? Like, you need to give some kind of answer here because it looks real bad, Quentin.
Like, you look like shit, Quentin.
He said, quote, I wasn't scared, but after we found out who it was who died there, I just deleted my contact with her. Because I didn't want to have a deceased person on my phone with a number in my phone that's just going to be no longer used.
That's very, bye,
Well, that's the thing. It's like, so I've had friends pass away. Their numbers are still in my phone, and I keep all of their text messages in my phone because it's my last communication with them. What?
Yeah, like what I meant to say, I wasn't making any sense because I was shocked, but it's like very dismissive and cold.
Exactly. So it's like, that doesn't look good either way.
He's like, she's dead, so I don't need her in my phone anymore, basically.
Exactly. Now, he was charged and went to trial for this. And now the issue that came back around was the Derek Eric issue.
Yep.
Because, again, his name is Quentin, and she said Derek or Eric, according to all these witnesses.
Yep.
Now, it was hard for anyone to discount this. And they were like, this isn't, you can't even pretend that those sound even remotely alike, even when you try to, like, hold your tongue, do anything. And even though the doctors said this couldn't be taken as fact because her tongue and lips were burned beyond repair, it was still in everyone's mind. It was just something that wasn't going to go away, unfortunately. Now, October 10th, 2017, the trial began. The state banked on his numerous lies. They were like, he's changed his story 1,000 times. And every time he got caught with something, he would change it. He'd be like, oh, yeah, now I remember. Like, that's a pretty good thing to bank on. So what they were saying was that after they went to Taco Bell, they went back to his house, and she was found naked, remember? So they think that he might have tried to sleep with her. And he might have even assaulted her. Of course, they couldn't tell that, but they thought he might have.
I was going to ask you if she had been raped.
Now, when she fought back, They think that he somehow knocked her out in his driveway. And I think they were thinking he probably suffocated her, like choked her, or suffocated her and thought he had killed her.
Right.
But he didn't. So he figured he had to dispose of her because he thought she was dead. So they think he drove the car to where it was found. And this is when they think he ran to his sister's home to borrow her truck, because he did do that. Remember, they could line all that up. So they said they think they drove the car to this place. He ran to his sister's. He got her truck. And as he is on the way there, he throws or drops Jessica's keys on his way, because it was on the way to his sister's house that they found them. Now, on camera, you can see the truck from his sister pulling into his house. So there's a shed at his house with gas cans in there. And this is lining up now. He then drove to the murder scene, lit her car with her in it on fire, poured the shit down her throat, all over her, up her nose. He then sends her a text message right after to cover his ass. And this text is noticeably sweeter than all the others. And they think Fred's dollar store, where he was seen on camera when he got the truck, was his attempt to place himself there buying that green dot card.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. I happen to be somebody that struggles with people pleasing. So a lot of times I will build things up and up and up and up and up and then kind of get to the point where I'm like, I need to let this out to this person. Even in 2026, that stigma and just stigma in general can get in the way of a lot of things, like getting support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking that first step yourself because you're busy. You're worried about what other people might think, or telling yourself that you should handle this all alone. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, can be a space to slow down and talk through what's been building before it feels unmanageable. Just take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully qualified. Don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/morbid. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/morbid.
Pretty close to the murder. So he could be like, well, I was all the way in Batesville. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So this all makes sense. It really does.
I think he did it now.
Of course, the defense says this is all circumstantial. And they call the Eric Derek thing as proof that this isn't him. They were like, no, it's Quentin Tellis. That doesn't sound anything like Derek or Eric. And they just kept hammering at that.
But the doctor said over and over, you can't use that as fact.
Exactly. And a medical expert testified that and said she was so burned beyond recognition that she was not capable of actually speaking coherently. And they said she could speak, but not, she couldn't enunciate. Now, another first responder said he asked Jessica, Eric who? And this is big. This, to me, made it more like that Eric or Derek isn't a thing. So this first responder said, I asked Jessica, Eric who? And she replied, no. So to me, that says, no, I'm not saying Eric or Derek, but she can't say anything else. So she's just going, no. No, that's not what I said. And so he was like, that's all we got out of her. And he was like, I don't think that was, I don't know his last name, because she would have just been like, I don't know, or just not said anything. But she said no. And to me, that says no, not Derek or Eric, or not Eric. And I think that makes it more like Quentin could be the guy.
I agree with you.
Now, after 10 hours of deliberation, they find him not guilty of capital murder. And the judge says, do you all agree? Because that's how that's how trials go. And one man on the jury says, no, we didn't all agree.
Oh, shit.
It blew everyone's mind. So the judge is like, so all 12 did not agree on the verdict. And the guy states, we didn't all agree on it.
So what happens now?
And this is on film, and it's bonkers. You see everybody in everybody sitting down being like, what? Are you, because when does that happen? No, you all are supposed to agree before you come out. Everyone knows that.
Right, that's the whole point of deliberating.
Well, and then they pull the jury right there, and this is on camera, that he's like, they all stand up and they say, guilty, not guilty, guilty, not guilty. And they find out that it was not even a little bit unanimous. The jury said that they didn't understand the instructions.
What instructions?
Basically, they were like, oh yeah, we didn't know that we all had to unanimously agree on a verdict, which I was like, where'd you find these people? Because I feel like everybody knows that as a jury, you're supposed to and they instruct you. They tell you need a unanimous decision.
I'm confused about where they got lost.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. So now they had to go back, and they were like, let me make this clearer to you. You all need to agree on a verdict before you come out.
We're locking you in here. Please don't come out until you all agree.
So 1 hour later, they come out, and they tell the judge, we can't agree on a verdict. Deadlocked, mistrial.
Fuck.
I'm saying.
When that happens, if there's a mistrial, do they have to get an all-new jury?
Yeah, they do get an all-new jury.
Okay.
Which is good in this case.
Yeah.
Because you're like, yeah, you guys can leave now. Now, in September 2018, he was put back on trial for a second trial. There's another hung jury, another mistrial.
This is a hard case.
It's insane. He is still serving his 10-year sentence for the debit card fraud, and he's awaiting trial in Louisiana for the murder of Ming Chin Sao as well. Now, at this moment, right now, they are waiting for a third trial still.
Wow.
So that's why I say this is not a totally solved case, because he is technically innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Now, his bond was set at $300,000 for the killing of Ming, which is crazy to me that he even has bond for that. A lot of people were really up in arms about that, because he hasn't. Luckily, what it is even though he got bail set, even if they paid it, I think he can't leave prison. He would just be sent somewhere else.
Okay.
So that's good. Now, here's some other issues that have come up. Quentin's sister has the name Derek tattooed on her hand.
Is Quentin's real name Quentin?
It is. But this was never mentioned anywhere. Like, police didn't really test, they didn't really look into this. Police didn't really test the car thoroughly because they said it was being, burned beyond recognition and it was just a total loss. So they didn't test it completely. And to me, that's an issue. Like, do your best. See what you can get out of that car.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think this is just another case where the police could have done more.
Who the fuck is Derek?
Well, and the police who told, the person who told police that Quentin told him all about the torturing and killing of Ming, that Eric Hill, that's Quentin's wife's cousin.
Okay.
So there's just all these weird connections to Derek's and Eric's that aren't really looked into. I mean, Eric, I think, was looked into, the guy that initially told them, and I don't think they found anything connected to him. But it's still like things are getting weird here. Like, I think more needs to be looked into here, and I don't think it is being looked into.
I'm like, what's Quentin's middle name?
What's happening here? There was I mentioned earlier, a BuzzFeed article, which I'll link to because I thought it was a really good investigative. I know people are probably like, BuzzFeed, go fuck yourself. Like, Alaina, what are you doing? I like BuzzFeed investigative articles. I think some of them can be really great. And this one happens to be really great. And it's in this article, Jessica's mother, Lisa, says, quote, and this is the part that I was like, oh my God, this rips my heart out. She said, quote, I don't want to close the computer because I don't want to close my eyes. If I close them, I see I see her burning.
Ow.
Like, that's her baby. I don't think I would ever close my eyes again because I think that is what all I would see was thinking about my child being burned alive and someone pouring flammable liquid down their throat and then lighting a match. That's the other thing. What the accelerant of this fire was a match. Somebody lit a match and threw it on this thing. That is so personal and so like, fuck you. Like, this whole thing is so personal. There's no way this is some stranger that did this. This is beyond personal.
And it's like, what did you say? Like maybe a half hour before she was in his driveway talking to him. It doesn't make sense that he didn't do it to me anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, I don't want to because I don't want anybody to like yell at me saying I'm presenting only one side of the story. This is the only thing that's coming out. Like, I don't know what other side to present because no other person has been put up for this. So I'm trying to give all the information I can. But to me, a lot of this stuff is pointing to him because he lied about a lot of stuff. And he lied about a lot of pertinent stuff, like seeing her that night, being with her that night. I mean, he lied about a lot of it. And he deleted all those messages. It's just, if he's innocent, he did not do a good job of proving himself innocent.
And I feel like the major thing that he lied about is the very last thing was what time she left his house.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing that she left and then within a 30-minute period, she ran into someone she knew, because we know this is personal. We know it. She ran into someone she knew on a dark road randomly, and something occurred where they got so angry that they lit her on fire. Stripped her naked and lit her on fire. Because the other thing was that I read this in a bunch of Reddit threads and I saw it in one article, so I didn't state it as fact yet, but I did see it in a lot of sources, that her clothes were like outside of the car, like behind the car. So her clothes were like taken out of the car. So that's weird.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird shit in this case.
There really is. And then just so you guys know, there is a Justice for Jessica Facebook page. It's run by her half-sister. And there's a lot of good people on that page that are just trying to help, trying to send well wishes. It kind of like shows the best of humanity, and then it shows like the worst. People send her family cards. They send flowers, gifts. They donate library books to libraries in the local area in Jessica's name. Like, it's all really cool. And Lisa, her mother's laptop was confiscated for evidence by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation in the beginning of the case. And she hadn't got it back yet. Someone sent her a new laptop from that page.
Oh my God.
I know, isn't that so sweet? And she also broke her phone at one point and mentioned it. Someone sent her a new phone as well.
Oh my God, these people.
So it kind of shows like the best of humanity and the absolute worst of humanity. It's like this case has the total dichotomy of it. But unfortunately, at this moment, We are still waiting to find out if he is going to have a third trial. The family wants it. The family does believe that they are going to prove that he did it. And Lisa, her mother, said, I promised her I would get her justice. I have to get her justice. I want her to get justice. If it's not Quentin, then Courtland police, find out who the fuck it is. Like, if it's not him, go hard and find someone else. But, like, it does seem like he's the guy. I'm going to be honest. In my opinion, he is the guy. I'm not going to state it with absolute fact. But in my opinion, if I have to say it, Quentin looks good for this.
It's just the evidence, yes, is all circumstantial, but if you can piece it together that perfectly, it's like, it makes sense.
Exactly. And I think the only motive I can come up with, because that's where I get hung up, is like,
Rage.
What motive do you have to do something that awful? I think it was initially rage. I think it was trying to assault her or rape her, possibly, or her turning him down, or her stopping something in the middle of it, getting him angry. He might have choked her or suffocated her. And I think then it turned into self-preservation mode. And he was like, how do I get rid of this? And that was the only way he thought of to get rid of it. I don't think that part was the main part of it. I think it was more to get rid of it. But then again, it's like, but you poured fucking accelerant down her throat. So a lot of it doesn't add up in any sense of the word. You know what I mean? It's hard to figure out anybody in the world who would do that. But Quentin looks kind of good for it.
Definitely, in my opinion.
But guys, let us know what you think. If anybody has more information about this, by all means, share it with us. I'll definitely do an update if anybody has one. And I'll be keeping an eye on this case so we can update and when and if they get a third trial. Thank you so much to Paige for reminding me of this case, because I've been wanting to do it for a while, but it got lost in my list of cases. So I appreciate it. I hope we did it justice. We will definitely update again. And I think now we are going to bring it way back up, and we're going to thank some Patronuses. So let's kick that off.
Okay, are you ready? Our first Patreon. Thank you so much to Molly Moons.
Molly Moons, that is the best name I have ever heard. 1, it has alliteration. 2, it has the moon. Thank you so much, Molly Moons.
Molly Moons, you must be a witch.
You must be.
Number 2 is Danielle Whitco.
Danielle Whitco, you probably bake a mean pie.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. It was just Thanksgiving, and I thought of pie because I ate a lot of pie. And Danielle just seems like someone who would make a great pie.
I wanted to say Whitco, where the witches go.
I like that better. But you know what? You're probably a witch who makes a great pie, so thank you, Danielle.
Number 3 is Maddie.
Maddie, so hot right now. Thank you, Maddie.
I miss doing that. Number 4 is Madeline Madison.
Madeline Madison, coming in hot with that alliteration. I love it. Thank you, Madeline Madison.
Lots of M's in this round. Thank you, Madeline Madison. Next is Kara Harris.
Kara Harris, you probably have long flowing Harris or short beautiful Harris. Either way, even if you have no Harris, you are the heiress to my heart.
Wow, I can't top that. Thank you so much, Kara. You're a goddess.
Love you, Kara.
Next is Ashley O'Salway.
Ashley O'Salway, that sounds like an Irish name because it has an O in it, and I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Ashley.
Oh, thank you. Next is Christine Eames, I think.
Christine Eames, I think. You are the star of my best dreams, Christine Eames. I love you. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was like a poetry slam or happiness. Number 8 is Liz Gardner.
Liz Gardner, you sow a garden of beautiful wildflowers in my heart.
You belong among the wildflowers, Liz Gardner.
You do. Thank you so much, Liz.
I have that tattooed on my body, so it means a lot. Anyways, Kellyanne is next. Thank you, Kellyanne.
Thank you so much, Kellyanne. You would never get into a creeper van, Kellyanne. Thank you.
Please don't, Kellyanne. We love you. Next up is Courtney McClure.
Courtney McClure, are you sure? I think you are. I love you, Courtney McClure. Thank you.
I'm sure about you, Courtney McClure. And I also really like to say your last name, McClure. It feels fun.
It does. It feels good.
Blah, blah, blah. Next is Lori Cox.
Lori Cox, you rock my socks. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. Next is Meg Gregory.
Meg Gregory, you are someone who smells good. Thank you, Meg Gregory. I love you.
I want to say your name fast. Just go Meg Gregory. I love it. Thank you. When Alaina read this name to me, I was like, fuck yeah. Miriam Randall.
Now, I want to let you know that she literally did say fuck yeah when I read this name, because that's a great name. Miriam, I love you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Miriam. Then we have Nicholas. I'm so sorry if I say your last name wrong. I think it's Delilio. Nope. Delilah. I tried.
Delilo? Delelo? I think it's Delilo.
Wait.
Hua? Thank you so much, Nicholas. Whatever your last name is, Delilo, Delilio, Delelo, you don't have to lay low because we think you're great and you should shout it from the rooftops. So thank you, Nicholas D.
Nikki D. Last but certainly not least, we started with the moon. We have to end with the moon. Raven Moonwake. What the fuck? If that's your God-given name, you're the greatest.
Raven. I don't even know what to say. I love that we began with the moon and ended with the moon. And Raven, you brought some Edgar Allan Poe realness in here. And I thank you for it. Thank you so much, Raven Moonwake. I love you. I truly do.
You keep the moon woke. Thank you to all our lovely patronuses, and thank you to everybody that listens anyway. You can find us on Instagram over at
Morbid Podcast.
You can hit us up on the Twitter.
A Morbid Podcast.
Yes. You can send us a Gmail.
morbidpodcast@gmail.com. Remember to send those listener stories and title them Listener Stories and then something fun.
And then go talk about them in the Facebook group after we talk about them on the podcast.
Facebook group is rad. Morbid : a true crime podcast Facebook group. Go do it because it's a community of beautiful weirdos and I love you so much.
And then once you're done doing that, you could check out our website, which has a new merch store with up and coming merch.
morbidpodcast.com.
And then if you want to hear your name on an episode and you feel like you can donate to us, you can donate any amount of money. We love money no matter what. You can do that at
patreon.com/morbidpodcast.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
I feel like this case is too much to do one for.
Yeah. Not so weird that you talk about this case.
But not so weird that you fucking are on a jury and you don't know the point of being on a jury. Don't keep it that weird. Bye.
Yeah, that's a good one. Not so weird that you don't follow instructions. Okay, bye.